load circle spins in the middle of the screen as we prepare to watch something unseen. It might be goats laughing like us or natural disasters. Charlie bit me, a hat trick by Messi, leave Britney alone. Series previews, movie sequels, and the Harlem Shake, just to name a few. And then you've got Tosh.0 and every other online show. And that's before reading the comments that follow. The one similarity with all of these things is that it shows there's something safe about watching the rest of the world from a distance. Sometimes we think that none of those things could happen to me, but if you think that, just wait. Some of those things will turn into reality. And not just the good, but the bad too. The reality is that everyone has a comfort cage. Somewhere they feel safe and secure and away from reality, and the big bad world is out there. At a distance, more security we seek, and for comfort we strive. We need to watch and experience all these things of life and enjoy them from the security of our comfort cage. We watch the screen thinking, none of those things could happen to me. My cage will keep it out. But there's something that you don't realize, that every cage has a trapdoor beneath, and it's so strong, and it is, but to a degree. You see, as we pile our trust and expectations in the cage that we think keeps us safe, the hinges start wailing and the locks start failing, and before you know it, you begin to plummet, and you can't seem to stop it. No matter how hard you try, all you can do is drop. And in the darkness you stay and you fall into your lowest and you scream out for help, but there's no one there to notice. Your comfort cage that seems so secure has abandoned you, while others you know remain like before, safe. See, the atheists, they call this natural selection, which voids all care and affection and a reason to help the broken, saying, this is just the way the world has to be. What? Are you kidding me? Depression, death, murder, rape, topped off with some poverty. I way prefer the Bible that says this world is fallen and broken, which implies there was a time where it wasn't always like this. It's not a pretty place outside of our comfort cage. Well, you ask them, what hope does humanity have to be saved? Well, there's a cause for all this darkness and fear, and it starts right at our core. It's sin. Your sin, my sin, our sin. It's the absence of true righteousness and light. If we lived in an unfallen world, we'd be alright, but we don't. This world is tainted by darkness and sin. Like the rapper propaganda said, it's a cancer. Sin, it devastates, mutilates, and suffocates us while we sit in the darkness along with our fears. But then something appears that looks so foreign, it's as surprising as the floor that's just sprung open beneath us. A light presents itself, and it's the glorious light of Jesus. You cut off right there because your first reaction is fear. Can I trust him? Do I approach him? I'd be more comfortable right here and build another cage away from this place. I can avoid the sin and darkness and just remake, but don't you see, all comfort cages you make are going to break and fail. Just give it time, you'll be sitting there and suddenly you'll plummet again. Because our sin keeps destroying and people keep falling. But what if I were to tell you there's something out there that has overcome our sin? That perhaps our cages don't just keep out the bad, but it keeps out the solution to this predicament that we're in. You see, the light we now see, we see it in the distance, but it's been around us the whole time. We've been too preoccupied with our cages. And now it shines so bright in the darkness it can't go unnoticed. The only thing that gives hope outside of our broken comfort cage. All the darkness that surrounds the light, see, it begins to dissipate, and we don't even realize that we've begun to gravitate towards it. The darkness and fear, you see, it seems to hold on, but its grip starts to slip against this light that's so strong. Why? There's a saying that the perfect love, it drives out fear, a love that's consistent age to age, year to year. And it brings us real security in this dark time in which we exist. But how can we possibly attain it? Is there anything I need to do? No. All the work has already been done for you. You see, so unexpectedly, a man entered history and started shining his glorious light on humanity. He healed the sick, he cleansed the lepers, he fed the poor and he forgave debtors. He drove out fear, dispersing darkness. He is our Savior, his name is Jesus. So much power does he wield that the darkness fled. But the people, see, they were tainted by their sin and fear, and they said, we need to kill this man and cease the words that he's spoken. You see, it's because their cages had been broken. 2,000 years ago, as Jesus, God actively entered human history. And the people, they couldn't handle it, so they murdered him on a tree. And Jesus knew this was coming. And he could have avoided it all. He could have walked away and not fussed. And all he had to do was give up on us. But he didn't. You see, he stayed and he paid the debt of sin that we ourselves made. And now that he's risen, he offers us forgiveness. And it pulls us out of our sin and darkness. And all we need to do is reach out and accept it. Perfect love drives out fear. And this is how we know what love is. Jesus laid his life down for us. This is that love that drives out fear. A life laid down, life laid down, life laid down. This is love.